Hello and welcome back to episode 10 of Space Engineers Keeping It Real with Strix. As you can see, things are moving really slow for me on the game. I've been trying to work it out and figure out what's going on and not having much luck. So I think I'm going to have to shove off and go to space very quickly. For the time being, though, I'm set up to get a few more wind turbines up and try and help my power situation a little bit. So let's get those going. Oh my god, the lag. It's horrible. Like, my frames are making it impossible to play. I have done some testing in a game in space. I pasted in like 500,000 PCU worth of modded blocks in space, and I'm able to fly around in space without any of these issues. So I don't know what's going on down here, but I definitely want to get away from it. It might have something to do with all of the voxel damage around me. I don't know. And wouldn't know the first thing about fixing any of that either. Yeah, it's exactly one of them I can carry at a time. Move my mic a little bit to where it's closer to my mouth. That might be helpful. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why it's been a couple days since I've done a video, is trying to figure out what's going on with all of this. The other reason is hanging out with my wife and daughter before they went on vacation across state lines, which they're going to be gone for a few days now. Just me and the dogs and the mother-in-law in the house. So as far as the dogs are concerned, just me in the house. Okay, why are you taking so long to weld this? Stop stopping. So yeah, as we can see, despite me not wanting to do off-camera work in this series, I'm going to have to today because everything is just taking so long to get done. This is not going to be entertaining at all. I can't even fly, and I'm pretty sure my voice is getting messed up on at least some portions of this. My original plan was going to be to make a mining ship, but I think instead I'm going to be doing a lot of off-camera mining. I've already done a lot and put down a small cargo container to hold extra things, but I'm sitting at 35,000 iron. My goal instead is going to be to try a ship build going to move into space. It's probably not going to be an armored vessel, and I still haven't decided if it's going to be a large or a small grid. It'll be far easier for me to build a small grid time, but that would leave me having issues getting things going in space. So I might do a very small, large grid ship and just thing I own into space. That being said, I still haven't found any kind of fruits or vegetables to be grown. And honestly, I don't know how to find. If any of you know much about the Eat Drinks pod, like how about feeding them in, go ahead and throw that comments down. It'll be very helpful. I keep trying to look up stuff for it, and I have not had any luck. But this should at least give me some good power to charge up batteries. And I'm going to go ahead and pause up for a moment while I consider whether it's going to be a small grid ship and me starting over in space with just the survival kit and a bunch of parts, or if I'm going to go with a large grid ship and take longer to get it put together. either way, it's probably going to be an unarmored vessel, probably unarmed as well, and just a cargo ship capable of leaving the atmosphere and getting me started somewhere in space where I won't have to deal with all of this FPS lag that is killing me. But yeah, in any case, I will be back in a moment. We'll find a silent vessel. Okay, so I think I've got a pretty good idea what I want to build, if this will cooperate with me. Got a bunch of stuff queued up, and it looks like it randomly gave me things other than what it is that I need first, which is the connector. Why are you going to give me other things first? Obviously, this is the first piece I need. Okay, so I'm just short a few steel plates. It should be able to be past the functional line so I can get it connected and get things started here. Okay. Go ahead and switch lock on that. There we go, connected. Now, I won't be able to get any ice into this, which it's absolutely going to need directly. So I'll have to cut in down here. I don't have a gun on me. I'll have to cut in down here and connect that with conveyors. I'm just going to stay up here. Screw the wolf. All right, number 6. So I need large connectors forward and backward, up and down. This I'm doing because, again, this ship is not going to have any armor on it at all. Overall, the goal of it is going to be get me into space, find an asteroid somewhere to start building on, or a comet more likely, and probably tear it apart or reconfigure it for a mining vessel once we're there. Most likely tear it apart because it is very much built in my head already as a cargo ship. Let's turn that upward. And put one back here as well. I guess that is still going to leave a slight need for a bottom overall if I want it to be flush. Good thing it doesn't make that much difference one way or the other. I am going to have an oxygen tank on here, but right now I need to dump what parts I have into one of these and grab more stuff. Let's see. Right now, as I was saying, I need a hydrogen tank on that. I'm only budgeting for one, so I really hope that's going to work out. And then I'm budgeted for a third large cargo container behind that one, or behind that tank. What parts am I carrying? None. That's why. It just didn't update right away, and then I was looking at other things and not paying attention to the fact that it finally did update. One more steel tube into that. Okay, so I've got all of these other things built up. I just don't have the small steel tube for that. I do have what I need to put down one more of these. Yeah, I'm gonna put twin large thrusters on the back. I don't know if I'm gonna have actually enough down thrust to hold all of this for very long on the Earth-like planet. My goal is to just try to tip it and get out very quickly before that becomes an issue. But let's see. Had a little bit of parts for that. My cockpit this time around, I'm going to use the industrial cockpit. So I have to figure out how to get that put onto here. Let's go ahead and get well, let's get the O2H2 generator for, well, no, I didn't budget for that yet, so that's going to go up on one of the top slots. Oh my god, all of this FPS lag. I'm going to be very happy when I get out into space and no longer have to deal with this, because I'm pretty sure it will be dealt with immediately going into space. The further off of the planet's surface I get, the better it's going to work. Okay, I haven't been welding any of this up, so I start now. I'm just getting all the parts in it. I'm going to weld it up off camera. Let's see, can I get my cockpit onto here properly? Uh-oh. I do not have enough space to get that down to the one more block, I don't think. Oh, well, let's see. Random steel blocks. That's even with it, yep. Okay. That'll at least let me try to place it there. And yeah, I can't go all the way down. I don't have enough space underneath. So I will have to figure out a different way to connect things. That's fine. I can put conveyors here, raise this all up one, and then connect into it, and that'll be fine. Let's see. I have almost all of the parts for that. Wrong button. I'm just going to go ahead and build it for the time being right here, just as a placeholder to hold on to all the components for that. And let's see, I'm going to need small conveyors. Let's go with 4 of the curved tubes. Oh look, I've already got all the stuff I need in there for that. How about that? Every now and then things work out for me. I have gone and stolen stuff out of a few different unknown signals. Yeah, I hear you down there, wolves, but the way I'm built, I don't have to worry about you at all unless I want to. The reason it's going to be unarmed is it's getting very difficult for me to get into the magnesium currently with all the FPS lag and everything. And I also completely lost my original hole that I was putting things in. Alright, now if I put that there, I forgot it was not welded up, and therefore just going to drop everything. That's fine. Now I can connect that on and get all the parts into it. So much bulletproof glass on this thing. But there we go. And I don't need that there. Alright, so I'm going to pause up and deal with the very slowly welding this all together. Actually first, let me go ahead and grab what we need to put all this together downstairs. So I'm going to need a T-pipe. Come on. Why won't you go into the build plan? Oh, because it's trying to do small block. I'll need a T, and then 1, 2, 3 straights, and then a curve. There we go. Let's see what I can get put together for these. Actually, I guess I'm building it from the other way around. And I've got to remember there's wolves down here, and I didn't grab my gun still, so stay off of the ground. Unless I feel like being food. Fortunately, I've got plenty of wolf meat, so I am not worried about meat at this point in time. I'm just worried about becoming meat. Oh, see? Becoming meat. Exactly like I didn't want to. Okay. Ouch. Okay, so this is the right one. I should be able to hold all the parts for that. And switch that out for a T section. Ow. Okay, that's it. Gonna grab my gun and some more parts. Where's my pistol? Oh, it's in my cockpit. Along with all of my tools. Pretty sure I have a little bit of ammo on me. Somewhere. Everything is just running like crap down on the planet. Where did you go? There you are. Oh, don't run away. Go ahead and give me your meat. Since I had to kill you, I'll take more. And go drop that off with the rest of the uncooked meat. Was really hoping I could have found some fruits or vegetables in one of the unknown signals. That's why I checked so many of them. I have not had any luck still. Alright, so that should be the rest of what I need for these. Nope, still missing a couple of tubes and other things. It said it was all of it. It lied. Oh, it didn't say it was all of it. I lied. Okay. I absolutely have enough iron to do this. It's just not all in the assembler. And that's going to take a few minutes, but we've got everything placed. So I'll just finish welding it all up off camera while I'm welding all of this. And I'll bring it back when we're ready to start doing control sections and such. Batteries. Fortunately, it's not going to need too much battery power itself. Like, it can run off of a couple of small batteries. I think I'm going to put still a couple of larger batteries, normal batteries on here so that it can run the base as I'm getting set up. Anyway, back in a couple minutes. Well, I was trying to wait for this storm to pass because it's making things slightly more laggy and difficult to see and everything, but it appears to not want to. And I was just narrowly missed by yet another meteor swarm. I need to get this thing up and moving. In the meantime, however, I did move everything from my other cockpit over to this one, because this is the ship I'll be using soon. Which brings me to what am I going to do with this platform when I leave? And the Mercury. I'm going to park the Mercury right here. All of this is going to be ground down and packed into the ship here, which I have named the Colony 1. And I'm going to leave the power so that the Mercury stays fully charged. I am going to need to come down from time to time for meat, and if I'm going to be able to find a way to get fruits and veg, that's probably going to be down here on the planet. So I'll have to come back for that as well. So this platform won't be completely abandoned, just mostly. I'm going to move my primary everything up to the planet, or up into space. Let's see here. Other things that I need and want to place. Gonna need a frame right here. Whoa. The way the FPS lag is working is just so messed up. So I put a conveyor up there that I can put in a survival kit up top. It'll be connected to everything. As you can see, all of them have large connections facing each other all the way up until you get to the O2H2 tank. So this is going to allow for all of my components to flow freely. I still need an O2H2 generator, because in case I'm using too much fuel to get out of the planet's atmosphere, I want to be able to replenish my fuel. It's very necessary. And I'm going to want some solar panels, just to do some basic recharging of my batteries. Let's put these high over that so I should still be able to access it. And I think I might actually have enough room to put an angle piece up here and not feel bad about that. I'm not on the part that rotates, so there we go. Get on the proper block group. How does that look? Yeah, that's not bad. I'll go with it. It's going to be a little bit more power generation, and I can almost certainly do that on the rear as well. If I'm using the right shape. And not getting hung up on things. Let's see. How are my tanks doing? I'm expecting they should be full by now. The oxygen tank is, and the hydrogen tank. How am I doing on ice? Still a little over 5,000 overall, so not terrible. Alright, so the upper wings might look a little on the weird side, but they'll be fine. Let's see. Gonna need to be able to get my thrusters set up. So let's put the 3 smalls up and down. So the way this block is, 4 of the 6 sides have one large connection, 2 sides have the 3 small connectors. For anyone who's not used to using the full-size conveyor blocks on ships. That is a lot of dead space, or dead mass. Like, they weigh and they're not doing much other than just facilitating things moving around. But that is useful in and of itself. Now, if I pop these out on frames, I could add a couple extra hydrogen tanks. And before I take off, I'm actually going to save this and make sure that 1 tank will be enough. If it's not, I want to be able to retrofit it to where I have more fuel. So let's go ahead and put those frames down that I was talking about. Conveyor frame. Just to bump this out a little bit more. And then go with those conveyor junctions. Now I'm going to be taking off flags straight out that way. Fortunately, all of this is not going to be in my way. It's going to be packed up. Let's go ahead and double check with this, but that should line up perfectly. And it does. So if 1 tank isn't enough, I can come back and retrofit this with a couple extra tanks. Let's see. I want small conveyors on the sides here so I can have down thrust and up thrust in all the directions, essentially. It's definitely far enough away from the solar panels. 1, 2, well, let's line up over here. 1, 2, 3, should be just far enough off of the ground. Well, yes and no. Those are far enough off. The thrusters are right here. They'll be burning the ground a little bit. So as long as I am aware of that and know, that will be fine. Let's go ahead and, yeah, popping that one out too gives me the right distance to match up with everything else. And I've got 1 on the very back to assist with up, down, and side thrusts. So, speaking of thrusts, let's go ahead and start putting those in. I want the industrial thrusters because they look amazing. If I were putting armor on the ship, I might not use them because they're harder to figure out putting armor around. And let's see, I am going to want large thrusters up here too, so fortunately they do connect on the side. With small connectors. I would not say that's the most efficient way to run your large hydrogen thrusters, but it will absolutely work. That way I've got the same forward and rear thrust. And the small thrusters here, doesn't so much matter how they're placed, as long as they're actually facing the right way. Let's get all the down thrust on first. Thinking, considering, yeah, I'll put them there too. All right. I could put some on the bottom of the large conveyor blocks, but those are absolutely going to torch everything underneath them very quickly. These thrusters are going to burn the ground, but not at a very fast rate because they're just barely licking the floor. All right. And then 1, 2. Oh, side thrusters there likely are going to burn those. Well, fortunately, they have the connections off the side. So I can put some side thrust here. And then mostly run off of what I can tuck in there. That should be fine. And I just need one more direction of thrust, for which I need steel plates, of course. Fortunately, I just have a bunch of steel plates and interior plates on standby. I do have to build the rest of the stuff as needed for welding this all up. But that's fine. Let's go ahead and get... I think I might put hydrogen engines on this just in case, or a hydrogen engine at least. I don't need to double up on this thrust. Man, it's really weird the way it's flying though. Super slow, and then all of a sudden I'm just flinging across the universe. Alright, so now I need to figure out gyroscopes. Will they place on top of this? Whoa, let me under here. They will place on top of this. This thing is going to be carrying quite the load on the way out. So, let me back up a little bit. Give it 7 gyros and hope that'll be easy enough to maneuver around. I also want to put in, I got stuck. I also want to put in the azimuth overclocked ore detectors and see if that one kills me, like the ore detector plus plus. Don't know, I think it'll be a good experiment and it might allow me to find some ore. That being said, I should be all right with this vessel. Doubly so if I have a nice camera up here so I can look for color on distant asteroids. You know, red for iron, blue for ice or cobalt. Alright, so I think I am going to pause up and get to welding all of this. Trying to think if there's anything else that I need on the ship before I do. I've got my survival kit, oxygen generator, gyroscopes, thrusters. It would be nice to have an antenna, probably, and an ore detector. So that's all I'm missing. Add antenna and ore detector. And for the game to stop lagging out of existence here. Wrong button. Wanted to hit C. Put that there. Now fly, and bet the parabolic antenna will fit very nicely right there. It does. This at least can already be welded up. It's already got everything it needs. That whole one steel plate. So yeah, I'm going to pause this up and get all of this functional, for which this is going to have to come down. I don't have any kind of silver down here. I've never bothered finding it because of it being a pain to mine on the planets anyway. So yeah, I think this little temporary colony ship should work rather nicely. Back in a moment with a finished ship. Alright, so I've got this all welded up now. There is still the batteries left to do, which I'm sure everyone had noticed. I forgot to get my batteries laid out, so let's go ahead and get 5 steel plates just so I can lay down the ghosts real quick. Let's go with a couple of small batteries over here. One back here on this. And let's see, the 2 large batteries, I'm just going to stack right back here. Using the 2 different kinds simply for the way the aesthetics are going to look on the ship, which is hilarious. This ship is temporary. Let's go ahead and get all of these. Unfortunately, I can stand right here and grab parts that I need for everything. And not even have to go anywhere. I'm not going to finish welding these up right this second though, because I still need to shove those onto recharge. I should have all of the parts in here. I had already queued them up anyway. It's just a lot of trips because of my small inventory. So all I'm trying to do for this episode is get this thing ready for travel. Which means I am going to go ahead and cut down everything else here. I'll probably just park the Mercury off to the side for the time being, because I actually need to be able to charge these batteries, which isn't going to work so well while that's still plugged in. Let's just go ahead and grab all of those, then that one. Okay, yeah, that's all of them. And slap those on recharge. Alright, and I'll bring this back in a minute. And we'll start cutting things apart. Moving everything into the Colony 1. Alright, so I've got the batteries on here now and recharging. And I cut down the connector on top of the O2H2 generator on the platform. Move that down to the side over here. Oh my goodness. Gotta get off the planet. And went ahead and parked the Mercury on there for the time being. I'm probably going to be stealing power from it to charge up these batteries. I left that on auto. But I want this to be able to go pretty quickly. So first things first, if I can make it through the mud of FPS lag. Let's go ahead and show only this ship. Pull up large cargoes. And let's see, refinery doesn't have anything in it. Assembler has a little bit of stuff. Why was there ice in the basic assembler? That doesn't make any sense. S-car for the small cargo, and just start pulling all of this over. Still have almost 10,000 iron, that's not bad at all. Okay, so that leaves the kitchen, still has a bit of stuff in it, and I can't get to that. The O2H2 generator is going to have ice, and it's going to keep pulling it back. So let's just go ahead and turn that off. See, it already pulled it back in. It's still pulling it back. Oh, that's this O2H2 generator. Of course that was still pulling it in. It's still on. Alright, so that was the one on the base. So I have a nice little chunk of ice on me. And all of this is now empty and ready to be cut down. So let's see how much I can carry at a time with my tiny inventory. I have a few locations on here I should be able to dump everything, I think. Or it might just be the one right now. Let's see. Yeah, because I need a large port. I don't know, I might be able to put these in a small port. Yes, I can put things in small ports. Even though they technically can't travel through small ports. So yeah, I guess before I cut down anything too much more, I'm going to go ahead and save the game. At this point, if things go wrong, I can load the game to here, put the basic assembler back down and build 2 more hydrogen tanks, rearrange the way the thrusters are there, and get more hydrogen on board. And this is why I very much like to turn off autosave. This is one of the reasons, just to very much control where I'm saving and when. The other reason is if you're doing fine maneuvering, like you're trying to pull in and park on a connector, and an autosave hits you, that the lag generated by the autosave may completely screw you. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'll bring it back once I've got all of this cut out and moved into the ship, ready to go. I think I might actually leave the jukebox here. The rest of this is going to go as well, though. So let me just go ahead and grab that. This will be a blank platform with a connector in the middle of it. And a jukebox. Actually, the jukebox is kind of in the way, so it's going to have to go too. So we won't have music on. That's fine. But the last bit of the episode here should be very much me taking off and making it into space. That's the hope. So I'll bring it back when we're ready to try that and see how it's going to go and record.
Inventory full.
Alright, my batteries are all charged. I believe it's ready to take off for the most part. The platform is absolutely cut down to just a bare platform. I renamed my GPS coordinate for seeing that it's the outpost and where the Mercury is parked. Let's go ahead and unpark this thing for a moment so I can set up a few things. Need my groups and blocks and everything set up. Fortunately, it picked it right back up, but I'm no longer having to see everything on the Mercury. So we'll call these the running batteries. Because again, it's running purely off of hydrogen for its thrusters, so it's not going to need much power to run. Call these battery power as usual. Though I'm going to leave those on recharge mode, and they're going to be hidden and backburnered entirely. Let's just go ahead and tag this as C1. Alright. Hide the solar panels, don't need to see those. Thrusters are going to need a couple of groups made. And then let's go through here and find my 2 backwards. That's all I have for back thrusts. Set up my brake group. Hide those. That gets rid of the bulk of everything there now. It's only got the 3 large cargo containers, but that actually holds plenty. That's 3 small cargo containers for a large grid. I want to be able to keep an eye on this, so let's just tag that. The O2 tank, where is that? There it is. That can be hidden because I can actually see it very well. And it sounds like I'm going to be flying through a storm. That ought to be fun. Tag that. I keep missing and hitting the wrong keys. Show ship name. There we go. And I'm going to plug it back up for a moment. Actually, I never used any power or anything other than what the solar was pulling in. But let's get my hot bar set up so I can try taking off. Let's see. If I search C1, that'll make things much easier. I need the running batteries, recharge on off, gyros on and off, C1 thrusters on and off. I didn't have my tank set to anything weird or wonky, so that should be fine. Ore detector, antenna, and camera. Okay. And now I take off and see if this has enough fuel to make it with 100% hydrogen. I actually never did put on those hydrogen engines. That's fine. Shouldn't need them. I have plenty of backup power. And actually, I've got enough down thrust to hold it no problem. So let's just go ahead and turn it steep. I don't want to be burning my fuel the whole time, so I'm going to let off right now. And when I get down to about 50, I will hit the gas again. That way I'm not wasting fuel, and this will probably take a little bit. But the lag should get much less as I get higher up, because I'm pretty sure all of it is tied to the voxels. I'm already 3.5 kilometers away from the outpost there. My God, that poor lake. It has been torn to shreds by all those meteor storms. Fortunately, I've got plenty of food and water on me, because I need some water now. I let myself slow down a little bit too much there, but it's all right. Gravity still hasn't started going down yet. So I am still fighting all this gravity with my full load here. Well, it's not a full load. I didn't check, but I think I only half filled 2 of those cargo containers. The one in the middle and the one in the back. And there's no guarantee that it was actually putting things where I was looking when I was throwing them in, so I will have to look at that as I get to where I have more time in between needing to hit the gas. Already 10.5 kilometers away from the old base. And I think if I'm able to make it into space and find myself a comet, I'll go ahead and leave the video there. But that's the goal. I want to find a comet, something with tons of ice to live on, so I don't have to worry about breathing. Or water. Water is very important. Food is going to be interesting. I know I can do mushrooms. I know how to do that one. Mushrooms can just grow from organic matter pretty easily. If I put a toilet on my base on the comet, I will be able to get organic matter. That isn't a problem. Uh, I just don't know how to get any of the other fruits and vegetables. Fungus, not a problem. So I'm down below half G. Still have a ways to go before I am out of the atmosphere, but let me peg this and I can finally see how full my cargo is. So one large cargo container, half full. That's the extent of my cargo right now. Not carrying much at all. Somehow this ship reminds me of something out of an 80s anime. I was just throwing together what I needed to get it into space. And at this point, 0.3 Gs, I have 70% hydrogen. I'm going to go ahead and throw down a save because I think I'm pretty safe too. I don't need to worry about reloading the game and going back. I do have to worry about, am I coming right up into a bunch of pirates? And yeah, already seems very much that my speed has gone back to normal. I appear to be at 60 frames per second again. I could actually spin around my ship and look at it without locking up. So yeah, apparently the voxels of the planet and my computer do not get along. So that is yet again a problem that'll be solved once I'm able to get a new computer. Though my wife and I are talking about potentially trading computers. Mine works well enough to play all the games that she likes to play. And she actually has a more beefy machine than me. That being said, it's because mine is 10 years old and hers is a year and a half old. So it's just a much newer machine to boot. But that'll have to wait until she gets back from her vacation. Looks like I got out of the planet at the right time. I'm seeing lightning going on down there. Yep. I snuck out ahead of a storm. I'm still not seeing too many asteroids popping up, which is interesting. Usually I am seeing them by this point. Wonder if I can pick up anything on camera view. Oh right, I don't have camera panning in here. And I don't want to turn my ship at the moment. There's an asteroid. So I'm starting to see them popping up a little bit here and there. There's another one. And another one. So I'm just about in space. And 36 kilometers away from the Mercury and my little outpost that I've been living on. I don't like the fact that you can see holes on the planets from so far away. Like that's kind of ugly. It's just a very good reason to not look. Go ahead and spin my battery or my solar panels into the sun here. 0.07 Gs. The last number you're going to see there is 0.05. And then after that, you are absolutely in space. So I can just let myself slow down a bit now if I'm wanting to come to a stop. I'm not sure I'm wanting to come to a stop, though. I need to figure out a place to go. And the great thing about having the brakes turned off like I do right now, as I'm pointing my ship around looking at things, it's using the rest of the dampers to start pulling me in that direction. .06. Almost out of here. 44 kilometers away. So it looks at 46 or 47. I'll be out of gravity. I'm already at the 0.05. And there we go. You also start seeing the little speed lines letting you know that you're in space. I think I will go ahead and slow down a great amount. And start peeking out at some of these asteroids. I need iron, and I need a comet to live on. Or at least something with a lot of ice. What are you? Actually, that almost looks like a comet. Let's go check that out. Because for the moment, I am using a hydrogen-based ship. I need ice to be able to keep it flying. I need ice to stay alive with oxygen and water. So Comet is absolutely what I want to be living on. Might be able to get a better view at it now. Can't tell. It's all smooth voxels. It's still giving me the distance, or the long distance model for it. My brain isn't working. Can't think of the actual term. Guess I can turn off that waypoint down there now. But I can always go back there. And now I'm going to have to start doing my Earth orbit GPS coordinates. Love this cockpit for scout vessels like this and work vessels. I'm absolutely going to be using this for my building ship. So once I've got this platform going online, the absolute first thing I need to do is get a mining ship, which is what I was going to be doing this episode until I decided to just, go away from the planet. Screw you, Earth-like planet, and all of your FPS lag. I'll enjoy space and not having to deal with any of that. I still can't tell if that's ice or stone. It looks like ice. But it also has generated more like stone would. That is stone. Yep, that is stone. Oh wow, there's death voxels and little tiny asteroids all over here. What's this down here? Just an interesting looking shadow and more stone. So let's get back out here looking at these other asteroids. Well, that one has cobalt on it. So definitely going to go over there and mark that. Do not fly straight at asteroids. Always fly off to an angle. It might take a lot longer for you to slow down than you thought. Also, the asteroid might be closer than you thought it was. On the Content Engineers server, when I was first building my Apollodorus ship, I accidentally ran it into an asteroid right after I did the basic blueprint of it. Both the asteroid and the Apollodorus lost. No one won that fight. And I had to immediately reprint my ship. And it's all because I didn't realize how close the asteroid I was flying to actually was. Sneaky asteroids. I don't like the sun being right there. It's making it very hard to see what I'm doing. So let's use a really weird angle instead. Bring my speed down to about 20 meters per second. I can see the cobalt right there. Okay, the sun is behind the rock now. I have no lights on this. Hit J to put on my helmet, jump out, turn on my light. I at least have my light. It doesn't help that much, but it'll let me see things a little bit. I just want to get over here and mark this for when I have a mining ship. So I can come right back out to this cobalt and mine it. Because that's a pretty nice little patch. Cobalt. I should make sure to turn on my antenna before I fly away from my ship like that. A really easy way to lose your ship is fly off and leave it on the dark side of an asteroid. Okay, so let's get around this side, spin around and look at ones where the light is actually going to be helping us instead of working against us. Okay, so I also have to make sure I'm not going back into gravity. Don't want to fall right back down. I'm actually starting to get a little lower on fuel than I would like. Scanning, scanning, scanning. I've scanned all the way around, obviously, but I can look at the tops of some of these. It looks like I'm going to need to spawn more asteroids. So I'm going to go ahead and continue doing this for a bit off camera. As soon as I find something worthwhile or start running into trouble with having little to no fuel, I will bring this back. I'm going to go ahead and pause up for now. Alright, so I've been flying around for a while and spawning more asteroids and checking them to see if one of them is nice comet but I have not had a comet spawn just yet. So that's going to take some more flying around. In the meantime, I did find some ice. And I also remembered that I'm going to be in the dark a lot up here in space. I'm going to need to put some decent lighting on things. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the episode here. It's already running a little on the long side anyway. And I'll bring it back next time once I have found a location to put down at. In any case, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit the like button down below. And if you want to see what else I get up to, there's always the subscribe button. Until next time, have a good one.